Ford will celebrate 25 years of IdeaFord, and we are here to meet you and to discover with you some interesting things about the TCM.
When I started selling cars in America, you could only finance the car for 24 months. And so people would pay their car off and come back in and say, how much for my car? And they trade. And then it went to 36 months. Then it went to 48-month financing. And that caused a lot of problems because people wanted to get out of their car, but they couldn't because they owed more on their car than what it was worth. And I'd even start to say to customers, hey, look, I'll guarantee you, I'll trade you every 2 years for so much money. Not even thinking about what was taking place, it was just natural. Then in 1962, I would always guide people on picking the right car with the best relationship between selling price and resale to give them the lowest cost of driving. Never to focus on price, focus on difference. And then I realized that the biggest ripoff in America is the only way a man in the street could buy a car is to pay the selling price. And it had a rippling down effect. Dealers started to order all stripped down cars because they had the lowest monthly payment. They also had the worst resale. So customers were, because of the financing system, they're being forced into cars that didn't have all the equipment and didn't go to resale value. And that's when I said to myself, why can't people buy depreciation? Why can't people buy depreciation? Why do people pay for a whole car and then sell it back when they go to trade it in? Why can't people just pay for half the car and then have the option to buy the other half? Why can't we turn that around? The problem is people couldn't get out of their cars. So I went to Ford Motor Company, which was an accident, by the way. God's worked everything in my life as an accident. I was on a plane. I'll back up a little bit. Because you asked for a short answer, I'm giving you a long answer. I'm giving you some history. How every piece of equipment held its value over a 22-month period. So I really had profound knowledge of showing air conditioning costs $4, it was worth $4. Power windows cost, that you could really have a lot of equipment and not have any costs if you're paying on half the car.
Yes.
I said, I have an idea that I think will help Ford Motor Company, and I think it'll change the car business. He said, okay, I'll call you in 2 weeks. I said, what's your nephew do? He said, I don't even know. Okay. So here's 2 weeks. Remember 2 weeks was my life? The first guy said, I'll call you in 2 weeks. Now this guy said, I'll call you in 2 weeks. So I signed the letter. He liked it. He took me downstairs to the president of Lincoln Mercury. And that was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
For a year and a half, they made me go around the dealers and show it. A year and a half. Finally, they agreed to do a test market with a nice Italian dealer called Tasca,
Yes.
up in Rhode Island. They gave me a 90-day contract. A 90-day contract for it. I did the 90 days. We made that a success. So they sent me to Portland, Oregon with 3 dealers. Again, we made it work. I said, okay, I'll give you another 90-day contract down to San Diego. 6 dealers. We made it work. Okay, we're going to go to LA. 22 dealers. We made it work. The trading cycle concept, it was more than just the trading cycle concept. The big concept was lowest cost of driving. And by putting you into a trading cycle, before you start to spend money on repairs and maintenance, was our thinking. And also to bring your car back when it had the highest resale. So combining all those pieces, picking the right car with the right resale, putting it in the right trading cycle, and to give you the joy of new. I mean, our biggest selling point was the joy of new. That you live your life based on your age. You may have 30, 40, 50 years left. You can actually have the joy of a new car every 2 years, be always up to date, for the same kind of money, or maybe even less, than if you kept the same car 3 or 4 years. The other idea behind Trading Cycle was customer loyalty. Because the loyalty of a customer coming back every 2 years is very, very high. The loyalty of a customer on a long-term financing program is drops in half. So not only does the loyalty drop, but the number of cars you sell in a 10-year period drops. Yeah, I think people are realizing now, which took us a while, that a car is a cost, and that being able to stay up to date, drive new, with so many changes take place in your life. You get married, you have a family. So all we had to do was change our whole selling point. When a customer said, "What's half a car?" we just got the salesman to say, "Let's go pick a car, and after we pick a car, we'll tell you how it works." Yes. Because you can't take half a car until you get a car. That's just a little thing. But what we tried to do, and what we had to do to be successful, was we had to prove to Ford why half a car was better for them. In fact, not in conversation. We had to show salespeople that they could build a business within a business. I started out as a salesperson, and I was always, my whole thing was my customer base. I never lost a customer, ever. I mean, even when they walked in, once they're in my life, they never got out. If I had to follow them home, or if I had to follow them to the end of the year, they never got out of my life. But I did have situations where the factory would build a bad product, and customers, or maybe didn't like the styling, and they might want to leave me for a better. And that was really way back. One of the ideas that got me to a Trading Cycle, that I didn't want to lose my customer. But I had to show salespeople it was better for them, that they could build a business within a business. They didn't believe me in the beginning. I told them they would hire secretaries to handle the business. They didn't believe me until it happened. I had to show the dealer it was better for him. I had to show the managers it was better for them, which it truly was. I had to show the used car department why it was better for them. I had to let every department see why it was better for them, to get them all to work together. We came up with a thing called the huddles. Remember the huddle? Yeah. To get all the managers, because that's part of prepare the soil. We weren't successful until we really realized that we couldn't take a shortcut. I call it wiring up the dealership. We had to make sure we had everything wired up before we went in. And that was the attitudes, the feelings, the skills and presentation, blah, 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 you know.
Which are the suggestions that you can give us to our dealership in Italy, that we are approaching the renewal phases, and then to see also for the used car? Remember the umbrella, the concept of this year.
Okay. When you're putting people into a 2-year or a Trading Cycle, it's an orbit. And once people are in an orbit, they get in the habit, and they like staying in that orbit. So the most important cycle is the first cycle. Because renewal is, once you get them through the first renewal, they're always going to want to renew. But the first time they're always thinking, well, I'm going to buy the car. I'm going to buy the car. That's why you have to contact them early enough. Before in their head they said, I'm going to buy the car. And you have to know ahead of time what's in their head. They like the car. Maybe not a lot of changes in the new car. And they're just going to buy it. But the joy of new, that you have to get them back in to the showroom, and you have to have cars prepared ahead of time, because it's a very easy sale. It's a very easy sell if you prepare for it properly and get them back in and resell them on the Julie note. We had the resale club, as you remember.
Yes, yes.
I used to say to my customer, Mr. Customer, how old are you? He'd say, well, I'm 30. I said, well, you probably have 40 driving years left. So I'm going to put you in a new cycle for the next 40 years. And the resale club is that people come in the dealerships all the time looking for the hottest car there is a 2-year-old lease car coming on the market. That's a hot car. And we don't have them all in stock. So I'm going to take them and show them your car. And I'm going to call you on the phone and say, hey, I got a buyer for your car, can we sell it? And the profits you make on one of those cars is better than on a new car, on an off-lease car. Is that still true? I don't know if that's true in Italy, but it's true in America.
Yeah.
The hottest car in America is the off-lease car.
Yes.
And I told Ford that. When I first went to Ford, I'd laid out, put them in, maintain them, and renew them. I drew 3 separate facts. In the very, very beginning, I should have put this. They didn't understand what I was saying, but I have it all outlined, written out. And I said, renewal is the most important time. And I sold for something else, which, it bothers me when you know you have something, you know you're right, and they can't see. You saw my things, that's our job to make them see. Well, I said to Ford, I'll sell 2 new cars for every off-lease car. Everybody's afraid that the off-lease car would take away from new car sales. All these off-lease cars would take away from new car sales. No. So I'll prove to you, I can sell 2 new cars for every off-lease car. When you have a trading cycle board of 1,000 customers,
I remember,
and you've got an 80% renewal, when you sell your dealership, you sell that separate. No. You don't just buy my dealership. When you want to buy my customer base. That's worth. Your gross profit's going to be $2,000 or whatever it is in those cars. What's that board worth? $500 a customer? What's the cost you advertise for that?
Yeah.
I have 80% renewal. That's what they're building. Mm-hmm. They've got to see what they're building. But they lose sight of that. So it adds a whole new dimension to the car business. Never. I don't care how bad business was. Any half a car dealers never had a good month.